forces beyond your control can take away everything you possess, except one thing: your freedom to choose how you will respond. Viktor Frankl. We've all experienced that moment when something unexpected slams directly into our day. It's not nice, doesn't knock, it just shows up. And before we even think or take time to formulate a response, we've already sent something out. Sometimes it might just be the look on our face, or it could be a sound. And be honest, you sigh. I know you do because we all do. Sometimes it's words, often that we wish we could immediately take back. That moment, our first reaction, can often move faster than logic, and the effects can last longer than we'd like. The issue isn't that we feel. We're supposed to feel. The issue is what we hand over our control to, our discipline, or the lack thereof, or worse, our ego. And we all know this. Ego always wants the microphone first. It feels good to say that first thought. However, first reactions aren't accidents. They're reports. They're proof of how you've trained yourself to handle pressure. They show what you've been preparing for. That first reaction introduces you. It says, here's how I handle challenge. Here's how I interpret criticism. Here's what I've trained. And here's what still needs work. Another thing is, we fool ourselves into thinking that we can recover from that reactive comment, that email that was maybe a little too direct, or that groan that was a little too loud. But the reality is, after our reaction, most people have already decided who we are, regardless if we then try explaining. Negative reactions often come too fast, and our reputations are a product of those reactions. But the good news is, your reactions don't actually have a mind of their own. Yes, emotional control is not natural, but it is possible. This isn't theory. It's not philosophy. We may not choose what arrives in our day, but we always choose how we react and how we lead. Our first reaction tells a story. Sometimes it's a story that we're calm, but sometimes the story says we're insecure. And sometimes that story says we weren't ready, even if we thought we were. We aren't wired for perfect responses. We're wired for survival. And the problem is, our brain doesn't always know the difference between a real threat and our fragile ego. So we react fast, we speak fast, we defend fast, because something inside us feels exposed. When we're caught off guard, we don't always see reality. We see danger, we see disrespect, we see judgment. But more often than not, that danger is only our perception. That's why two people can face the same situation and respond completely differently. It isn't talent. It's training. It's preparation. It's the difference between letting the moment lead you and being ready to lead the moment, reacting smarter, and keeping our emotions in place instead of letting them take charge. Most people try to regulate their emotions when they're already emotional. That's like waiting until there's a fire to start wondering if you own a fire extinguisher. We're a product of our conditioning, and conditioning is built by habit. What we read, what we watch, what we feed our thoughts, how we recover, how we respond to those little irritations. If our routine is full of disorder, our reactions will mirror disorganization. If our day is full of distractions, our distractions will be defended through our reactions. But if our routine trains clarity, if our day includes purpose, reflection, recovery, and an honest look in the mirror, that 3-second window starts reporting something different. What do I mean by that 3-second window? That pause. Taking that first breath. That isn't mastered in the moment. It's shaped before the moment. You don't need to be superhuman. You just need a routine that strengthens control instead of feeding frantic energy. Practice silence. Train your breathing. Let irritation happen, but don't let it drive you. Give it 3 seconds, then steer the moment back towards your control. That's discipline. Practiced under calm becomes a habit. Each of us is on the grind. It's that early alarm, the extra rep, the drive that doesn't quit. Grind, spelled GRND, is the mindset that pushes you to go further when most people stop. Founded by a former Army Ranger, Grind Activewear is built on one simple mission: give 100% and then some more. Every piece of clothing is functional, durable, and made for people who outwork the rest. On the field, in the gym, or wherever you're building your next lane. This isn't just clothing. It's commitment woven into fabric, rooted in American grit and culture. Because when you wear Grind, you're not just wearing a logo. You're representing effort, discipline, and purpose. Check out thegrindcollective.com, thegrndcollective.com, and use the promo code TRANSITION15 for 15% off your order. You're already on the grind. Now wear it. You need to remember, your reputation isn't built during the easy days. It's built in those moments that challenge you and challenge your confidence. If we pay attention, we can usually catch that moment as it's showing up. When the shoulders start to tighten. When that voice in your head starts yelling, defend yourself, prove yourself, fight back. But that's the crossroads. That's your turning point. Because one path leads to your ego, the other leads to influence. And those around us will always feel the difference. A steady voice is maturity. It's strength under control. The world doesn't respect people who react emotionally. The world listens to people who respond wisely. Anyone can shout. Anyone can argue. Anyone can defend. But it takes discipline to lead. And leading begins inside you. We chase open doors, but forget that many doors close the second we lose our composure. We want progress without the price of preparation. We want respect without training our reactions to earn that respect. People remember how you made them feel more than what you said. They might forget the reason for the disagreement, but they'll never forget your tone. Your reaction has a tone. Your calmness has a tone. Your presence has a tone. And when those around you feel it, it either becomes trust or it becomes disdain. The most calm voice often leads in the most chaotic moments. If you want to lead teams, lead conversations, lead projects, lead change, you must first learn how to lead those 3 seconds. That's where composure lives. Your first reaction doesn't write your entire story, but it gives people a hint at the ending. If you train that moment before the moment, you start shaping that ending with a purpose. Remember, you don't need to be the best in that moment, but you need intention, you need awareness, and you need ownership. Leadership isn't about never feeling the pressure. It's about holding that pressure steady while logic catches up to emotion. Then everything changes. The conversations change. The relationships change. Possibilities change. Because you changed the one thing that you were meant to control. And control always begins on the inside, right there in that first breath. So going forward, here's the question to ask yourself. The next time the pressure shows up, will I react or will I lead? Will the moment take control or will my discipline step in and guide me in the right way? You don't need more motivation. You need more preparation. You don't need perfect timing. You need a practiced response. Growth doesn't begin in comfort. It begins in awareness, in being honest with yourself, in allowing yourself to pause and take that first breath. Then using it to calm you and guide everything that follows. So train it, practice it, because your future isn't hiding in some breakthrough moment. It's waiting in that small space between the stimulus and your response. The moments will always come, and when they do, your first reaction will decide whether the moment leads you or your leadership contains it. As always, thank you for spending a few minutes with me. Until next time, stay sharp, stay grounded, and keep showing up.